Peace, everyone. Welcome back to Masterminds with Brother Shamil. I'm your host, Brother Shamil, and just getting it started with the live stream. Y'all come in when y'all coming. We got something really good tonight. I'm really excited. I have with me so many words I can just say, but first off, she is a beautiful sister, a beautiful soul, a beautiful friend of the family. My wife and I. This is a treat. I'm excited. I've been trying to get this one for a minute. I promise you. I promise you. I got Neb Tahalka. I said, she's next. So, you know what I'm saying? It's about to go down. The mic is about to get hot, real hot. Y'all come on in and listen. I'm not even, listen. Let me get the introduction first because I'm so excited. I didn't know what to do. I rushed home to make this happen. So I have with me this woman here she is the CEO, the architect of Melanated Immortals, making evolutionary evolutionary changes. Let me get this right. Melanated Immortals making evolutionary changes. MIMEC. The womb evolution technique. WET. You are the master of acronyms. I just wanted to give you that accolade, by the way. MECA. Melanin Emerging Collective. You got to help me with the rest.
Consciousness alignment.
Consciousness alignment. MECA. And she is the author of 3 books: What's in Your Womb, UnWombded, and the one we're going to talk about, her latest and greatest, none other than the Melanin Frequency. We're going to get into that. This is someone who was introduced to me by my wife, and it all started, I never told you, I saw your book, What's in Your Womb, and she came home rushing with this autographed book. I'm going to check this book out. I said, okay, I see it. And then fast forward, you was doing your thing. You had the vegan restaurant, and then I was like, what does he not do? Like, you just everywhere doing everything. So I'm so honored to know you and have you as a friend, a master teacher at our hands, none other than High Priestess Maat Maakheru Amen. Welcome. Thank you.
I say, it's an honor. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. And yeah, man, this is exciting. Yeah, we go way back, earlier in the green room, you saw my daughter,
Yes.
and you remember when she wasn't that friendly, right? When she was a baby, she was not friendly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, very honored to be here, and just looking forward to sharing and having a little fun. Y'all know how I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Everybody's excited. Kinky Curly Shake Talk. That's my wife. She's giving the shout out. Greetings.
Greetings.
Absolutely. So we're ready to go in. Listen, I want to I always like to start with asking my guests about their journey, because obviously everybody just don't wake up one day and say, I'm gonna be high priestess and things of that nature.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
how did you begin your journey on enlightenment and cosmic evolution?
Woo. So that is a story that goes back, I guess, about 30 years. I guess it goes back about 30 years. I like most people, I started in the Christian church. Now, the interesting thing about it, because you talking about the high priestess, the interesting thing about it is when I was in the church, like I got baptized at 19, and I was all in. I knew I read the Bible backwards, forwards, sideways, up and down. Now I started having some questions. That's how I got to where I am now. But I was all in. I was the high priestess then. Okay. It was just all any and everything that I did. I went, all the way spiritually infusing those things. And let's see. I was introduced, really, I was introduced to this whole way of life. And, after I was leaving the church, I was getting a divorce. Um, and there was just a lot going on. But I had questions. I had questions then because I had, there were questions I asked at church, and they were like, no, don't ask them questions.
Right.
Only God can know. And I was like, well, what if I want to know now? You know what I'm saying? Can I know now? Whatever. So anyway, I couldn't do that anymore. And I actually got introduced to this whole thing by my ex-husband, um, who was already kind of in alignment with it. Was Rasta, was a um uh, had done some studying with 5 percenters, had done all of these things, and I kind of got reintroduced to him, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, you telling me about synchronicity, and so um had me reading all these books, the Celestine Prophecy, and conversations with God and stuff like that. So anyway, that kind of put me on the path. Now, and then from there, I just it was just I just needed somebody to direct me, put me in the right direction, point me in the right direction, and that was it. I was gone. And so from that point, I started a wellness center here in the DC area. And from there, it just started, all of these things just started coming on and on. And I always knew I was a priestess. Okay. That was always my inclination. And I had the opportunity after I had the wellness center in DC. Um, we brought KRS-One to
Okay.
to DC, and he had a show, and then he did a like a book signing at the wellness center, and that thing with the walls was sweating because it was a little small place, and everybody was trying to get in and everything. So we did that, and he um then he invited us to go on the road with him. And so we went on the road. And so then I'm out in California, right? So I'm giving y'all the short versions. I want to take y'all through all my, my
Through the
iteration.
tour, you ain't gonna give us the tour days.
Yeah, you got to come over to the womb evolution for that. This is the melanin frequency. As you know. But anyway, so so it was did that, and was in California for about what 5 years or so. And um and then my mother passed, so I came back to now. Now this is important. When I was in California, okay, so wait a minute, let me back up. When I was still in DC, well, a long time before, it was on. They had a special about doing your genealogy and things like that, right? There's a group called African Ancestry, and they are based out of DC. Gina Page and Dr. Kittles, and they when they first started up, they used to come to my wellness center and do a presentation and get people to submit their DNA or whatever. So I took the DNA test way back then, and it came back. My bloodline on my mother's side was Yoruba,
Mm.
and so I said, okay, well, I guess I need to be. need to initiate as a Yoruba priestess. So when I got to California, I went searching for an Ile. Okay. And I found one in Leimert Park, and I went in there, and I got a reading and from the Babalawo, and he told me, how they do, somebody got your head. Oshun had my head, and whatever. So um but I couldn't, no matter what happened, I would always go back there, and it was either closed or they were doing a ceremony or something. I just could not get back into that place. I got that one reading, and then that was it. So this is in California.
Mm-hmm.
So then one day, going into this restaurant, I live down in the valley in the LA area, and going there, and I see this elder dressed in all white. She and her husband, they dressed in all white, and she has this ankh on the table, this silver ankh, and it got the wings of Maat or Haru. I don't know. I don't remember exactly who it was. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, who is this? Like, I need to know her. So they set us right next to them. So that started my initiation process
Okay.
as a Kemetic priestess. So once I met her, she's the one who gave me the name Maat, and well, really it was Maat Maakheru. That was the name she gave me, the Maat and Maakheru, which means you got to read it right, from right to left. So Makaru is true of voice or correct sound. The M is just the connector, like of. So the correct sound, the true voice of Ma'at.
Okay.
Okay. And then, of course, Ma'at can be further broken down. And then the Amen came a little later through other initiations, through the shrine that I was going through. So that kind of started the process of, initiating as a priestess. Now, one of the things, though, that was with me is around my elders, I noticed something that a lot of them were burnt out.
Mm.
Okay. That they had put in so much to the people, and they weren't getting much in return. Okay. And a lot of them kind of giving up, uh, or just was like, listen, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore this way.
Mm.
Because, I mean, you look at the elders like Dr. Ben and
Right.
others, he died in a
Nursing
nursing
home.
home.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he probably did not get the burial that he wanted it.
Right.
Okay. And and others. And so I started to realize, hey, I have to do something, because yeah, I might be in my early 30s at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I need to um this is going to be me eventually. And I want to be able to, like, shift this. And so it I would say it started back then, this melanin emerging collective consciousness,
Okay.
wanting to put a frequency on something that could change, could shift the consciousness of the melanin dominant population. So um let me see, that's California. That's I come back, um and I moved to North Carolina. That's where I meet up with my ex again, and so that's where we meet you guys down
Yeah.
there, right? And so um and then, even then, like, a lot of the things that we were doing was, when I was in the restaurant, I'd be in the back. Remember, I used to have Melanin Mondays back there,
Yep.
and so it was starting to come then. I got on the Dr. Jules brain balancing program. That was probably the most significant shift, um
Okay.
between, after being initiated and all of those things. So I went in, I did all these initiations, Kemetic. I did circle back around to Yoruba and did the ancestral ebal for my Yoruba bloodline. Um, and then, um, and then, you know, it just started. And then I went on to the brain balancing. The brain balancing program was a very significant shift. Okay, it really made a difference. And then also had some mentoring, some direct mentoring by Dr. Jewel, which made a significant difference in, especially when you're talking about the womb evolution, wet womb evolution technique.
Yeah.
The melanin frequency, though. Well, let me just stop. Let me just say this. So that's kind of like how I started. Okay,
Okay.
Johnny. I'm going into your questions before you ask.
No. You going good. I wanted to ask you because you brought something that I never knew before. Is that you had Yoruba bloodline, which now that you say it, it makes sense. So that makes me want to ask this question. In your childhood or growing up, did you know anything of that? Was there like a great grandmother, or it was just strictly everybody church? We going
Everybody was church, and now I'm gonna say okay, but I'll tell you, in DC there is a large Nigerian population.
okay.
And when I used to hang out in the clubs, there's this big international club. In my 20s, I'm hanging out in the club or whatever. And Nigerians would always come up to me. The men, they'd come up to me and they would speak to me. I don't know if they were speaking to me in Yoruba or Igbo. What's the other one? You said Igbo? I might be
Yeah,
saying it wrong.
Igbo, Pigeon. Yeah.
Igbo, right. So, but they was, and then they would look back and I, because I'm sitting there looking at them like, huh, and they will, and then they'd step back for a minute and then they say, "You're not Nigerian?" No, now. But what's interesting, because see, I have expanded, in this. Now, no, nobody knew this in our in genealogy, but of course, as we know, okay, those of us who look like this, we were already here
Yes.
in North America. This is why when you talk to most black people I've met, or so-called black, I gotta, use the right terminology, that everybody has so-called Indian in their family.
Hmm.
I haven't spoken to one person who
Right.
hasn't told me that. Okay,
Right.
and I think that that was a cue, a signal to us to realize that we were already over here. Okay.
Yes.
And we know that now. There's been so many historians that have, dug, we got the receipts on the walls. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Long, long, long time ago. Same time, that's why there are pyramids in Mexico, in Georgia, in South America, in Ohio, that date to back to the same time they were over in Kemet. So we were already here. So yeah, we still have the same, we look the same way around the whole world. Okay,
Right.
so whatever you want to call it,
Exactly.
sometimes I just say, I know, because there's so many different terms and everything. I just say, hey, look in the mirror and the people that look like you. How about that?
Exactly.
That's the easy way to put it.
Exactly. Keep it
Right.
simple. Definitely. So with that, so that speaks to what inspired you in your journey. What inspired you with the of course with MIMEC, um, the Melanin Emerging Collective, and all of that.
Yes.
So, what made you finally decide to write the book, Melanin Frequency?
Okay, so yeah, there was a progression with the melanin frequency. I have within MIMEC, you could see that I started with, there was a vigil that I did, that was the there was a melanated mother code vigil that I did. There was a countdown to that, and that frequency started coming in. Then there was something where I did like a 20 day vigil. Like, so I kept there was just these iterations of it, and then it hit me all at once, because what I realized, like, so like when you see like Sandra Bland and, you know, there's so many names of all of these things, right? And then I was looking at, there's still slavery in the Sudan. Okay. There's a huge ring of abduction of women as a whole, but particularly black women and black girls, and then I think even some of young teenage boys as well. Okay, just disappearing because they have a slavery ring that's still going on, right? And so I said, hey, and then it made me think about the um you have Tibetan monks and Buddhist monks and everything. And I was looking at them. I said, hey, well, they pray all day for, world peace and love and, all of that stuff. I said, you know what? We need a group. We need a focus on the melanin dominant population. We need to be putting
Right.
out a frequency 24/7 around the clock that starts to break up
Mm-hmm.
some of this, okay, for our good, because we need a frequency focused just on us, and we need a priesthood that's focused just on us,
Right.
okay, that's able to shift the consciousness and to move these things out of our way so that we're not available to be anybody's. They can't just come and pick us up off the street. I know it might sound crazy to some people, but you can put a frequency around you that makes you not available. You will not participate. Okay, you don't have to be, anything can just happen to you. No, anything can't just happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
Mhm.
we are in a stage on this earth where the universal consciousness, the cosmic consciousness, is closer to us than it has ever been. All right, and so that means that the things that we want to play out, we might see those things happen faster. So what has been happening is that we've just been allowing, or in a sense, I don't want to sound like Kanye.
Uh-oh.
I know, right? But you know that we have nobody. Let's say it this way: nobody told us.
Right.
We haven't been trained to. Nobody told us that we could just say, "Hey, listen, no, I'm not available. I
Right.
don't participate. I don't agree. My purpose is stronger than whatever any person, place, or thing determines that they need or that they are going to impose on me. My purpose, my function, my reason for being here is stronger than your will to have me be enslaved or, be one of your victims."
Indeed. Indeed. That's what we need. We need that frequency that actually shields us and where we can be self-determined, like you speak to. Like we won't allow just anything to happen to us. That's what I love about the melanin frequency in the context of just us taking it into our own hands, taking decision to send out the frequency, and it's proactive instead of reactive.
That's
That's what
right.
I like about it.
That's
That's
right.
what I
Yep.
love about it.
Yep. So yeah, we're not waiting no more. Okay.
Right.
We've been putting out this frequency now for 4 years. And within those 4 years, now we put it out. It's interesting. We talk about this. We put out the frequency before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It came right at, it came the fall equinox of 2019. Okay. Is when we put the frequency out. And then right after that, we went into the COVID era.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so here's some of the things that we have seen, right? Is we have seen now either we can say either the frequency did it or we're just aligned with it. It don't matter as long as it's happening. We've seen Karen laws. We never had anything like that. Well, white women can't just decide that they're gonna stop a grown man from going into his penthouse. and call the police for nothing. Okay, and they turn around and they go to jail. We've seen other people where we've seen these there's a website that's dedicated to when people film some of these things where you see these crazy folks out here, trying to
Yeah.
make people victims. Like they follow them home, they get their license plates, they get their names, and these people get fired from their jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not able to operate like their ancestors anymore.
Right.
All right, so we're seeing these things now. There's still stuff going on, which is why, like, originally the frequency was supposed to be for that first year. But once we started to see how it was, hey, it's aligning with what's happening, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We need a constant frequency that is focused on us.
Absolutely. Definitely. Always. Always. So I know that pretty much everybody on the live stream, I trust they know the basics about melanin. But just for those who may come on after the live stream, um, just give an introduction to what exactly is melanin and its importance.
So, in the metaphysical perspective, melanin. This is just my perspective, and then I'm gonna break it down scientifically. All right, so is really the physical representation of dark matter. Okay, it is a polymer. It is a neural transmitter. Okay, and it's a neural receiver. So as you know, polymer means it sticks to things. Neural transmitter means it can transmit, and a neural receptor means it can receive things. And so when I started learning about melanin and just I started looking at it from a metaphysical perspective and asking these questions. Why is it so much energy focused on people that look like us?
Right.
If we're supposed to be, you know, nobodies, and
Mm-hmm.
we dumb, we stupid, we can't do nothing or whatever, then why are you even concerned? Right. And and so when I started really researching, and it was funny because my daughter had given me I had drawn out the whole melanin molecule. This is this big thing. I don't know even know if it'll show up because I got this background going. Let me see. um, I don't think, can you see it? No, a little bit.
It popped thin and
It popped in a little bit,
yeah.
but that was many years ago where I drew that, and then I started focusing on it,
Mm,
and I started receiving,
yeah.
it's a polymer, it's a neural transmitter, it's a neural receiver, right? And um, um, so that's why I said, hey, this is dark matter. This is the physical representation of dark matter because, as they say, as above, so below. Like I like a lot of these terms, but I want to know, where is that? How does that happen? How do we know that? Why people say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why is it melanin then like dark matter? Okay, one, we have um there's something called magnetoreception. Okay, magnetoreception happens in the body. It happens on the earth. The frequencies between the earth and the sun. They're animals. Animals. This is how a lot of animals get their direction. Even sea creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have magnetite in the body. Okay, we have it, and if you have melanin, if you have the highest amount or the highest frequency of melanin, then you have it everywhere. It's not just on your skin. Okay, not just on your skin, it's in the brain too. This is why it's a polymer, it's a neural receiver, it's a neural transmitter, right? So this is why, what is it? We faster. In sports and things like that. It's now coming out, about all of these brilliant minds, like the women the hidden, what was it, Hidden Figures.
Yes.
The first computers. They had all these black women that was computing, things or whatever. And then of course all of the men who helped some of the well-known inventors. Thomas Edison, he couldn't figure out how to get the light bulb until the brother said, "Here, put this right there." We've been doing this for years. Y'all just figuring this out here. This is what you need, whatever. The computer. Wouldn't be no Bill Gates, none of them, without the brother who made the microchip. So this is related to having magnetoreception, magnetite. Okay. It's not just in the skin, it's in all the organs in the body. We have the highest concentration everywhere, not just the skin, in the brain, in the organs, in the heart, in the liver. Now, but see, what gets reported on is why what gets reported on is that the disease that comes from that, the disease, right? So it's very difficult. This is why they put heroin in the black communities, because in the 60s, when the Panthers were out there and they were giving away free food and lunch, and all of the organizations that were starting to help melanin dominant people, right? They had to break that up. Heroin, they've shown in the lab. If you read Dr. Carol Barnes's book, they talk about it. In the lab, melanin merges with itself. And so even in a synthetic form, that dopamine, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it has different parts. So that dopamine, that's a piece of the melanin. It's going to merge with that. And since we have the highest concentration, when they were trying to, detox uh, the melanin dominant people from these drugs, it was very difficult. It took a black scientist to come in and realize that, okay, and then start giving them a different cocktail, because they couldn't use the same cocktail as melanin recessive people. It didn't work as well. They had to
Right.
get something that could release the melanin, the bonds of the melanin, right? But see,
Right.
they'll report we have the highest rate of disease and everything, right? But that's because of the melanin. But so if it works one way, it works the other way too,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
and so one of the things, my first before I even came up with the melanin frequency, I did something called melanin and emotion, right? Where I was saying, listen, we're seeing on, because this is when this Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and all of these things. It was like back to back to back to back to back, right? And we were seeing all these things, and I said, wait a minute, you know what? We need to stop saying they always do this to us. And you
Right.
see how they keep getting away with this. This is I'm sick with this, right? Even though that's how you feel, that's not because what happens is melanin, it's a neurotransmitter. So you get the melanin molecules stirred up with your emotions, they're going to transmit that emotion that gives the very people that you don't want to have the power to do this the power. So if you're going to say that, you say, hey, listen, I'm tired of seeing this. And I'm going to tell you what, this is not going to happen. They're not going to find no more of us. We're not going to be a victim. And they're not going to get away with it. Okay. These people that have this intention, their intention is going to fall on them. They're going to have to, they're going to do something else, but they're not going to be over here with our children, with our men and our women, and keep attacking us. That's what you want to transmit. So the melanin frequency is that, it is that emotion that is
Right.
using melanin and and putting it in motion to transmit a frequency.
Indeed. And I like how you spoke about us not adhering to, I like to call them negative mantras. They keep doing this to us. Hands up, don't shoot. I can't
I
breathe.
can't
Black
breathe.
Lives Matter. All that. These negative mantras. It's the man. He always put me down. The white man. You can't get nowhere. These are negative mantras that we actually perpetuate that manifestation,
Mm-hmm.
that realm of reality. We don't realize as a people how powerful our mind is, how powerful the melanin is,
That's
you know,
right.
in connection with the mind. So so I you you oh well, first off, in your book, you speak about waves, right? Wave one, wave two, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you get into that and explain that. But the wave one, which really hit me, was the one where it says the evolution, and I'm paraphrasing, the evolution of melanated of the melanin dominant population is necessary for the advancement of the entire planet. Now, that's a very bold statement, right? So, it takes big kahunas to say that melanin, like, we are necessary for the advancement of the
Yep.
entire everybody.
Yep.
So I would like for you to kind of speak to that as to why you was moved to and inspired to say that.
I say. Yeah, so because it's true. You know how they say majority rules?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's another misconception on this planet, is that we don't still have the majority. As you know, one of our master teachers, Baba Wanik, always says, if we weren't everywhere on this planet, there would be no people anywhere. Okay. There
right,
would be nobody. There is no indigenous people that did not look like us on the whole planet. Even in Europe. Okay, they would pull every time they go and they try to pull up some bones. Okay. Even I remember they had this documentary in, I think it was China, one of the Asian countries. I believe it was China, and the guy was like, no, 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 we didn't start from, so-called African, we don't have that lineage or whatever. And they pulled out some mummies, and I was looking at them like this, hey, you know what, put me back in there. Put me back in this ground. Stop this stupid stuff. Right. So you know so that we still have the majority on the planet.
hmm
And so I know it's hard to believe, but listen, let me tell you what's hard. When I didn't just come up with this very lightly. I've been at this for many, many years, and I have gone back and I have done my best to do some research, right? And I remember this specifically. When I was going to do research, I said, well, I want to find out really how many of us is really on the planet. Because definitely over here in North America, they make it seem like it's 10 of us, right? It's just 10, right? And then when you watch movies and all of that stuff, you would think that the melanin recessive, okay, makes up the majority of the planet, right?
right.
So I remember I went in and I said, okay, well, let me find out these statistics. And I'm gonna tell you, you know I'll just tell you what happened. Okay, so I remember I looked in, I said, okay, what's the population of Africa? All right, and they said 1 billion. I said, really, just 1 billion? Hmm, that don't seem right, because Africa is huge, right? And I've been over there, so I'm not just saying that because somebody told me. I've been
Right.
to 3 countries over there, so I didn't, and I seen a lot of people, like more than I've seen anywhere in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a lot of people over there, right? So, um, but you know what? That statistic was from 1980.
Wow.
When I looked up China, I got, you know, 2 billion or something right away. And that statistic was from 2020
Right.
something. I forget what it was, but it was very close to when I looked it up. When I looked, and then I said, well, let me find out how many people are in Europe. Okay, I don't know. I don't. It wasn't in the billions or whatever. Okay, and then I started, doing these. How many people in India? But what they do is they put Asia and India together.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then they say, hey, well, it's 3 billion Asians, and so they make up the majority of the planet. Well, are you talking about South India too? Because now, if you meet some of these South Indians that are indigenous and they know they're not mixed with Brahmin,
Right.
okay, they know their ancestry and they will say, hey, look, some of them tell the story of Pangea or whatever, but they basically say, hey, we was already here,
Right.
and we look, we know we look like y'all, and this is where we come from, the same planetary indigenous people. Okay,
Yeah.
say it that
Yeah.
way, right? And and then what happened is I kept going. I said, well, how come the statistics from Africa is from 1980? They must not want you to know, right? So I started
Okay.
going country by country. I tried to, and like, so let me tell you how I got switched up. I said, let me do Egypt, right? So they said the largest country, the largest um country in Egypt is Cairo. I mean, the largest city,
City.
okay, is Cairo, and it's like, so many millions of people, right? And that's the largest city. It's,
Mm-hmm.
5 or 6 billion people. I mean, a million people, right? Now, what you would have to do is keep doing the research and find out how many people live in Egypt, the country. Okay. And if anybody's ever been to Egypt, you know why I'm saying that. Because the northern part of Egypt, Cairo and Alexandria, if you've ever been there, you know. So those are um, the Arabs. Um, and, they
Yeah.
more so relate to melanin recessive.
Right.
As soon as you hit Luxor and you start going down that Nile, everybody look like me and you.
Wow.
Everybody. And they tell you, soon as you get off, oh my God, you my cousin, you know, you my sister, so this is this is you know, so but when I looked at the number, guess how big Egypt is? It's like 40 million people in Egypt. So
Okay.
what they're telling you is kind of a trick, a mind trick. Go to Cairo. That's the biggest people. That's the biggest city. So that's where most of the people are. China. We don't need it, baby. Okay. And so that's where most of the people are.
Mm-hmm.
And but you got 40 million people in the whole of Egypt. And again, if you've ever traveled throughout Egypt, you know what those people look like.
Right.
So they're not telling you that there's probably about 30 million
Yeah.
melanated people in
In
Egypt,
Egypt.
which make up the majority of the country. So it's like it's these mind tricks, and then try to find the statistics in Australia, um, you know, and then they break up South. You can't find them in South Africa. You'd have to go by tribe.
Wow.
So they make it very, very difficult to get those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I said, you know what? How about we just use our eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And using our eyes, like right here in the DC area, as you know, this used to be, they used to call this Chocolate City. Now
Yeah.
they have successfully taken over the city, like I because my business used to be on U Street, and I'm telling you, there was a concerted effort to get all the black businesses um, off of U Street, and so, but I said, well, is DC still Chocolate City? Let me just see what I see in my eyes, with my eyes. And I did a little experiment. Now I live out in PG County, and this is many of you know, PG County is just like Atlanta, is one of the areas where you have the highest amount of affluent, so-called affluent African American, you know, people or
Right.
whatever. All right. So I said, how long does it, let me just do my regular thing. I'm going to walk. I do my walking. I'm going to go to the store, you know, go to the grocery store, go back, just do my thing. And let me see how many melanin recessive people I see. And this is a nice neighborhood. It's not the hood. This is
Right.
nice. You know, these bougie folks out here, right? Okay. Real nice, right? So it took me a week.
To find a melanin recessive person.
It was at the end of the week. This is many years ago. I took my son to there's a big, we got playgrounds in this division, the subdivision, but there's a big playground up at this big park, right? So I took him up there, and yep, and it was a brother who had a melanin recessive wife. It took me that long.
So you
Yep.
had to marry her and
Yep.
bring her up in the
Mess up
neighborhood.
my statistics. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I was on a roll. So, and then when you go south, I just kept it going. I mean, that was many years ago, but I just kept it going. I look at what I see, right? Down south. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
South Carolina, Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere. And I actually, you know, I would love, let me see if I could I have a little video. Let me see if I can find it though. That I have of that, and where what I did when I was doing that research, um, I I said, you know what? Well, let me, instead of, because you know now they know I'm looking, right? So let me go see what happens if I just look at the pictures. So I went and I looked at some of the pictures of the you know, different countries in Africa, different countries in Europe, some of the big cities, and it's just to see who's on the street, how populated is it, right? And so I had let me see, dang, I wish I could see, I need to be better organized in my in my videos over here. um but I had a video where I showed how that, look, this is, it's a little short thing that
Okay.
just kind of gives you a visual. It's about a minute long. Let me see if I have it.
You it up. Let's see this.
Yeah, it just, you've probably seen it before. You know, I've played it before at MIMEC. Oh my God! I see now that I'm on the spot here. I'm trying to find it. You can go ahead and ask me questions. I'll look while you're.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And just, you know, to let you know, yeah, we got the chat is on fire right now. Anybody who you have questions, definitely feel free to interject. I wanted to while I have you on there, you answered my question on the melanated dominant population. Another thing that you also spoke about was in your book called Melanims,
Yes.
right? Such
Mhm.
as like melanin mirrors mentality, melanin makes molecular medicine, and all these. So tell us how you came up with the melanins.
You know, I told you, it came right when I drew that melanin molecule, and I said it started to communicate with me. So
Yes.
that's one of the things that came through. So see, it was like the book was written in phases. I didn't even have that as a book yet, but I had the melanims, and so they just started coming, and then it was one of the things too that I was using to teach the children. You know, so I used to teach a class at my son's school and my daughter's, St. Cia.
Oh
There
yeah.
yeah, I used to come in there once a week. And so this it was something that I would use to teach them, to remind them that, melanin is a polymer, is a neurotransmitter, is a neuroreceiver, right?
Okay.
And so yeah, so I like to, like you said, I do the acronyms, and I got melonyms. I have my acronyms now. Okay.
Okay.
I ain't
Okay.
even brought that one out yet.
All right. Watch out now.
Yep.
That's you've always been a wordsmith. I tell you, I'm telling you. You got the melonyms, you got the acronyms like crazy. I was like, yo, she's gonna come up with another one. I'm waiting for the next one. Whatever you come up with, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yo, do you? Are we ready? Or
Let me see if this is the right one. Let me just see real quick.
okay.
No, this is not it. Oops, excuse me. One more. Just keep going with the
Okay.
questions. This is
Okay.
not.
So when you speak about the melanin being a transmitter and a receiver, um, what is the best way, and this being a melanin frequency, what is the best way for us to activate and increase that frequency?
Activate what? Say it again.
That frequency, the melanin frequency, being a
What?
receiver, what's the best way to activate it and or increase that melanin frequency?
Right. So I would say, now for those who want to dive deep, definitely you want to draw that melanin molecule. You get Dr. Barnes's book, Carol Barnes, and he has a whole layout of the melanin molecule. Now it may take you a few Earth rotations to do it. Maybe even a whole as a so-called week, okay, to do it. But you will have a communication happening. It's a because whenever you are able to look at things in a picture, this is why on the hieroglyphics, so-called hieroglyphics, they're pictures.
Mm-hmm.
They have a frequency. Those pictures, that's why they put everything on the wall. There's a frequency there. So when you're able to look at that melanin molecule and communicate, it starts to communicate and activate with who you already are, what you already have access to. Okay, so that's one way. Another way is to make a decision. I say this all the time. Sometimes it's just a decision that, hey, listen, I'm going to activate this frequency in me. I got, because one of the things, we hear people, we've listened to our elders, and they've done the research and everything, and so they've been telling us about this melanin, and saying that it, hey, melanin does this and that and the other, and whatever. So I'm like, well, why are we in the situation that we in? You know what I'm saying? Should we be able to do something about this or whatever? And so one of the things is to make that decision to um, that you're going to use everything you got, okay, with no apologies, with nothing. If you came here in this form and you're fully melanin dominant, whatever, you're going to use every bit of it, and you're not going to settle for not knowing how to use it and what it's for and how you can do this. I'm going to use all of this. So somebody going to tell me something. You can start with the melanin frequency book, right? Somebody going to give me some information about something. I'm going to know how to use everything that I got. And then what happens is, because it's a polymer, it's a neurotransmitter, it's a neural receiver, the things are going to start coming to you. You're
Okay.
going to find more. And so that's what I would look at. Let me see.
Absolutely.
I got it.
Before you share, I just want to get some comments and questions from the
Okay.
chat. Free Reality and MBR says, if I may share, since being part of Melanin Frequency, the Earth and its elements respond and communicate well with me. Gratitude, definitely. And we also have, let me see here, Shay. Okay. And we got a question from Customer Relations. What is the name of the book again to draw the melanin molecule?
Dr. Carol Barnes. It's dang melanin. The wait a minute. Dang. If you just look at Dr. Carol Barnes now, I don't know why it's leaving me. Look up Dr. Carol Barnes, and it'll be one of the first. If you just put Dr. Carol Barnes and melanin, um, it's a long title. Um, if you put that in, it'll come up.
Okay, cool. And Kinky Curly Straight Talk says, what changes, good or bad, have you seen on the planet since keeping up that melanin frequency?
Sorry. Sorry. I was checking the video. Well, one I talked about a couple of them is that with the melanin frequency, I have seen that people are not getting away with some of the same old things that they have been getting away with before. Okay, now things are still happening. Things are still happening. We're still getting the reports of you know uh, what they being melanin dominant people being targeted
Right.
for certain things. So we're still seeing that, but we're also seeing something that we have never seen before: a counterattack. Where you know what I'm saying? Because with the camera, everybody got a camera, and then down to forget the police, forget marching on Washington. You know what I'm saying? They go into the people's jobs. They say, "Oh, do you want the? Oh, this person works for Ford. Is this who you want to be? This person is a manager of this division in at Ford. Do you want this person working for you?" Those people losing their jobs. They're reporting on these things.
Right.
Okay, and so that's something we have not seen before. Okay, because usually what was happening before is that thing, they were getting away with it, in quotes. And
Mm-hmm.
so now we're seeing something a little different. So there's still a lot that needs to be done. We still need to hold this focus. We still need to get these frequencies out. We still need to get more people activated into understanding that they can just make a decision to
Right.
not be victimized. I know it sounds crazy, okay, but I've been doing it for years, double-digit years, okay, and so you can nobody can convince me that that is not true,
Right.
right? Because when you just determine that you're just going to operate, this is the thing to know that everybody here has a purpose and a mission for being here. And nobody, not one person, not no person, place, or thing. I don't care how many guns they got. I don't care how many nanomites they got. I don't care if they're working from interdimensional other beings are helping them. It doesn't matter. Your incarnation and your purpose is the strongest. Excuse me.
I'm trying to feel your forehead for fever.
Excuse me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Gratitude to everybody in the chat.
Your oh, wait a minute. I need some more water.
Yeah, definitely. We got some good conversation here. Some jewels being dropped right here. Hey, let's see. We got what is going to, that resonates with me. It all begins with making the decision. Yes, indeed. That's indeed correct. On many levels, it's our responsibility. Absolutely, absolutely. We are now at that space where we are the ones who have to take it on to the next stage. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Masterminds, Brother Shemel is all about. Taking this information for us to apply and to advance. Like I said, being proactive and not reactive. So definitely, this is what it's about.
That's it.
Good conversation. Absolutely.
Right.
Indeed.
So yeah, your purpose is stronger than any other force that is seeking you. And when you make a decision that that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be.
Right.
And you might have to go through some iterations, some changes, some things that happen or whatever. But if you stick to it, you will see it.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
I don't know why I can't find this thing. But it'll come. Just keep coming with the questions.
Okay. They're gonna come through it. So yes. So you said you wrote Melanin Frequency in stages. So when did you start and when did you finish?
Wow. So all right. So it started with the melanims. Okay, that was the first part. The 52, so there are 52 frequencies.
Yes.
There are 52 frequencies because what we did is, because you guys participated. When we initiated the melanin frequency, we had 52 transmissions.
Yes.
Right? And so we did one each so-called week. Starting from the fall equinox of 2019 and we went into 2020.
Yes.
And so I wrote those frequencies, they was just on me. I just started writing them. Now, let me tell you what's interesting. When I stopped, I had 42 of them. And I was cracking up. I said, okay, come on, Maat. You're like, really? So I had 42. And so one of the things, and then I had asked at that point, I was asking other people for, to finish the last 10.
Yeah.
So I had them written that whole year, but to put it in a book format, it wasn't until last year that I said, you know what? I need to put this in a book. And because they, I had cards or whatever, but you were asking me how I wrote it. Okay. So so there was the melanims, then there was the frequencies. And last year I just, got uh, the frequency to say, hey, go ahead and put that in, go ahead and write it and put
Right.
it into a book, and then an audiobook. So the audiobook is also the one that a lot of people are raving about because you can feel the frequency in the audio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So customer relations says, does frequencies equal lessons?
Some of them are. Some of them do have lessons attached to them. Not all of them. Some of them are just like a commentary on the frequency. So, like with the first frequency you gave, there I have a little commentary about them. But in the book, though, you get a whole lesson on melanin and magnetoreception, magnetite. It's all of that's in there. I have something called frequency freezes. So that you be like, oh, wait a minute, did you just? I know you didn't just skim over there, right? I also have, what do you call it? I talk about the chakras because a lot of people don't talk about melanin and chakras.
Right.
Okay. And so, yeah, so you do have, there are some lessons in there as well.
Can you elaborate on melanin and chakras in their relationship?
So, like I was saying, that the melanin is also attached to the organs in the body. So if you are melanin dominant, you are melanin dominant in your organs as well. All right. And so um as you know, the organs are, some of them are in alignment with the chakras. And so the and the chakras, all, like, if you in my Kemetic training, right? So you learn about the chakras, and even in when they teach it from the Hindu perspective, right?
Yes.
um each of the chakras are attached to a specific deity.
Yes.
Okay. And so anyway, if you look at, if you can tie that, if you know which one it is, or there's, don't want to get into all that detail, but attaching, this is the movement. This is, remember I said in the beginning, I said, it's just my perspective that melanin is dark, is a physical or the metaphysical representation of dark matter in the human form. Okay. And so it moves with the chakras too. It's a polymer, it's a neurotransmitter, it's a neural receptor. So if you are working with your chakras, or your full system, your energy system, it's in that. This is how it's transmitting anyway. It's playing out in everything that we do, with extra it has an extra emphasis on it if you are melanin dominant.
Absolutely. That makes sense. That's it. That's a bomb right there. Listen, y'all. Ain't nothing but bombs being dropped out here. The mic is hot. The mic is on fire tonight. Told y'all. I told y'all. Listen. Customer relations said, can't wait to get the book. Look, I put the link up. It's in the chat. It's in the description. Y'all go ahead and get that book. Uh, and I heard an excerpt of your audio. I heard you spitting that hot fire. I like the fact that you did the audio. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's my
So,
favorite. I would say that's my favorite.
oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, so did you still want to do the video? You want to hold
Let me
on?
see. I think I have it. I think I have it. Let me see.
Okay.
No, sorry. That's I had so many of them that I did. I I uh I never, they all look the same. So I had to kind of play them to see which one is the one that shows you the bad already. Oh my god. Keep going, keep going. I'm gonna get it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Sister Jean,
Mm,
Royce Hills explained. Did you explain melanin dominant? Yeah, we kind of went into it, but I don't know if you want to reiterate. Basically, we are the one with the most melanin dominant. That's
what
that's
let me say this too about that. Okay. So I'm gonna go, when the original formation, okay, depending on what cosmology or spiritual system or whatever, I don't really, want to choose one, but I'm saying that what is a common creation story is that when the whole, the creator, God, whatever you want to, call it, source, okay, decided to come into formation, that formation looked like one of us,
mhm.
okay, female and male. And so it came in Now, using a biblical quote, in the Bible so far, it said, when after God created man, God looked at the creation and said it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what happens a lot of times is because we've been programmed. We've been programmed. We've been suppressed, oppressed, repressed, and suppressed, right?
Right.
That sometimes we don't want to accept that. Okay. That the perfect formation is one of us. Because there's a calculation that goes with that. That calculation really is a so-called, I don't even like calling it white supremacist because they ain't supreme, but the
Exactly.
just the concept of that
Right.
is that if you are, then that means that you do these types of things to the other people. Okay. And so a lot of times we reject that concept that because we're melanin dominant, we got all 360 light codes
Yes.
in us, all through us in this form, and can access more. We've even had some of my elders have told me they've even had melanin recessive people when you go into these spiritual groups and stuff. They've even had melanin recessive people tell them specifically, listen, we can't reach the levels y'all can
Mm.
spiritually. We don't go there. I've talked to people who have done plant medicine and stuff like that, and they have compared notes and said, hey, we don't even have the same experiences.
Wow.
Under y'all have a different experience than we do. Really? Okay. So what happens is that notion gets rejected because it's tied to the concept of white supremacy, and saying that, well, then that means that we're going to be like them, and of course nobody don't want to be like them. Right? And so that's something you got to disagree with that too.
Right.
If you have something that can help the whole planet just by activating who you are, why would you resist doing it? Why would you not accept it? It doesn't have to equate to what it has equated to over the last 20,022 years.
Mm.
We don't have to make that. That's somebody else's calculation. That's not a natural or divine calculation. That's a different kind of thing. That comes from a mind that doesn't have 360 light frequencies available. Okay, through all of its systems. You make a different calculation. Hey, I have this, and this could change things. We won't have to be under this crazy stuff anymore, and blah, 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 blah. Why wouldn't you say, hey, look, activate all my stuff, put it all on? I don't even know what it is. Turn it on. I don't, just turn it all on. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That makes sense. So we don't operate with that fear planet. We've all read, or many of us have read Dr. Francis Quest Wilson, the ISIS papers, and that fear of, as the public enemies say, fear of a black planet, fear of
Right.
annihilation and all that stuff. So yeah, we don't even operate in that frequency. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Customer relation says, my 15-year-old son and I are watching together. He is really enjoying the content. Gratitude. Appreciate you checking in and having your son watch this. This is what it's about. This is for the family.
Wow.
Yeah, all
That's
ages. Absolutely. Indeed. So yeah,
wow.
This is awesome. Yeah. So I would say did you
You know
get
what?
the video?
I got it. I got it. Now that did she tell me tell me that, or he said that, I'm gonna have to. Hold on. Let me. We gonna do this.
Okay.
We gonna get this, baby. We gonna do this.
All right, y'all in for
I'm
it.
going into hyper. I'm going into another mode now. Okay. We're gonna have to do it now. Okay.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. It's
But
got to
yeah,
be here. Um,
giving it for the people. Definitely,
yes.
definitely appreciate everybody joining in and watching the content, listening to this. Yeah, this is some good stuff here. I'm listen. I should have just sat down. I got this book right here with my questions. I should have just wrote down notes while you was just talking. I'm gonna play it. You got it?
That's what's up. Well, we got the recording. We got the recording.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna play. Keep this
Hmm.
on repeat after I'm done.
Yes, yes. Well, it
Cool.
is on
My apologies. My apologies. I'm a she. It's Azuri. Apologies, Sister Azuri. Okay. I
oh,
stand
sure.
corrected.
Okay, okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. All right. Yes. Yes, she. All right. That's what's up.
Kinky Curly Straight Talk says I'm vibing. Yep. Sister Jean Royston Hill says this is confirmation of self-realization. Absolutely. That's what it
I
is.
say. I say. Okay, let me see here. This is like crazy that I cannot find this thing. And I did it uh, a long time ago. So it was just, it's like down in my um it's way down here somewhere.
Deep in the archives.
Yeah, it's in the archives. It's like, um it is on it is on it is on YouTube though.
Oh, it is.
It
Okay.
is. Mm-hmm.
So, what can we look up if we do a check, if we do a search?
Melanated mother code. But
Melanated
there
mother
are
code.
three of them. Let me just see here, because there, maybe I can find it on there.
Type that in the chat.
That'll be quicker, because I'm like, wow, I'm having such a hard time finding this. This is my channel here. Okay. Um, Let me just look at my videos here. Or did I put it on? I might have put it on MIMEC's website instead.
Okay.
Okay, but any more questions? I'll find it on
Okay.
here.
Um, yeah. So let me see. So you told us exactly your process of writing it. Um, so since you've written it and put it out, what has been in your experience? What has been the aftermath as far as reception, how you feel, things that have taken place on a metaphysical aspect since you've released this work?
Um, so the thing is, it it definitely has changed things. What we have been doing, like we're in year 4 now. Okay, we're in the year of the earth. And one of the things, we started on year 2, we started putting a name, a title to each of the years. First, we were in the year of materialization. Then we were in the year of what was it? Authority. That was last year. And then we're in the year of the earth. That year of authority. Listen, it everybody was speaking in terms of taking authority of their purpose. That's what I was talking about.
Right.
When you take authority of your own purpose, your own incarnation here on earth, and you start making decisions, it changes things. And so this is the first thing. Now being in the year of the earth, now people are talking about earth frequencies,
Yeah.
earth consciousness. And we're talking about taking full authority over all planetary matters. Now like you said, that's a bold statement.
Yes.
That's a bold statement to make about doing that. But the first planetary matter, of course, is us.
Yes.
We're the matter, and our matters, You know, the things that are going on in our lives, the things that are going on in our communities, the things that are going on, and then we expand out and out and out. The first thing, though, comes with a decision. It comes with the decision of we're going to, I'm in authority. I'm taking over my purpose. My destiny is mine. It doesn't get decided. It don't get hijacked by nobody, no person, place, or thing. It's mine. Okay. And so you speak to you and whatever higher source, and y'all run that.
Right.
It's your decision. And so these are some of the things that I have seen change. Now we had a lot of participation. The thing that I would say is it's still too small. It needs to be bigger. Everybody needs to know about this. Everybody, I wish that we can get, this transmission in all the schools and all the, you know what I'm saying, all of the organizations and things like that. And I'm sure it'll get there eventually.
Absolutely.
But it's too small. It's still too small.
Indeed. That's why we got you here. That's why we got you here.
Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Melanin Frequency, y'all get that book. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Now I did find it here on
okay.
I found it on here on YouTube. Now what can we do? You know what I can do real quick is it's because it's a minute and 30 seconds.
Okay.
Can we play it from YouTube, or I have to upload it in here?
No, you should be able to share the screen.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, come on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I need a little bit of help, you know. Sometimes I need a little bit of help. Oh,
I saw your daughter peep back to behind you.
Yeah, she like, listen, you mean help you? Okay, I can't help you, right? You just need a little bit of help. Okay, so let me see. Present. Hi, finally. I was like, hey, what is this going on? And like, they do not want y'all to see this, right? That's what was happening when I was trying to find those numbers. All right, let me see. Here we go, right here. All right. I think we got to go through this commercial. Let's see.
If every person in the United States suddenly visited your website, would it crash? Not if you built your...
Okay. All right. Oops. Now what do I need to do here? Oh. Stop sharing. Okay. So as you can see, I was doing that that was in 2017.
Yes. Yeah, powerful. So you've been doing this for a minute. It's not. I like it. Beautiful. So how can people get in touch with you? For those who want to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so you can reach me at melanatedimmortals.com. Okay. You can also email me at maat@melanatedimmortals.com. All right. And we what we do there is a lot of what we're talking about here and getting to the point. I know, like I said, it may sound crazy to just make a decision, right? Like, really? All I gotta do is make a decision. When you literally have something subconsciously blocking you, right? It takes some tweaking to get to the point where you can just make a decision and stick with it and hold that frequency, right? And just like, listen, no more, never again. I'm not, nobody's going to make decisions for my destiny ever again. Okay. So it's one thing to say that, but it's one thing to be able to stick with that, because as soon as you try, some people probably on here right now, probably, made those decisions and be like, and then what start happening? Your old stuff starts coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got all kinds of things, your past relationships, what your parents said, and then, the way the world is, and political issues, are all of these things that start playing out in your head. So we literally, one of the things that we do, we have courses and things that we show you how to unravel those things, detangle, okay, from the artificial frequency, okay, the artificial collective consciousness that has been placed on us. I said this, we had a show last night. We don't teach people divinity or spirituality or anything. We just teach you how to get rid of your artificial mind. Okay, so who you really are is going to show up. And so one of the courses that I recommend along with the book is I have something called the Woke course. Okay, and it specifically deals with the subconscious mind and the unraveling of the subconscious mind. The other one, since people were asking about chakras and melanin, I have it's a self-study, because right now we are finished with our courses. I have another one that's like a self-study course that deals with the chakras and teaches you about the chakras and the melanin, and then some of the blockages that you have, okay, in relation to that. And that'll get you, once you start unwrap, you got to peel back. You got to peel back, because what's going to happen is, you might get hyped, like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and, whatever. And then life starts to happen to you, and you can't hold that frequency. You're not able to, or whatever. So you need some tools, okay, that will allow you to just continue to hold these frequencies and to kind of take you through, some hand holding. Okay, because we're not designed to be artificial. That's why, I say this is why it hurts so bad. This is why it's so emotional, so hard to pull away.
Right.
Okay, because it's really against nature that we're fighting. So, yep.
Absolutely. That's great stuff. So definitely, y'all heard it. Get the book. Reach out to her. Melanatedimmortals.com. Maat at melanatedimmortals.com. Sister Maat, High Priestess Maat, and Maakheru Amen. It was a pleasure. I so thoroughly enjoyed it. I know everybody on here enjoyed it. I thank you. For sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, and just being who you are. And I really mean that, because you've always been a person who's been embracive, you know what I'm saying? And you just have that warm spirit about you. So I thank you for being who you are and being on the platform. So,
well, give thanks. It's definitely an honor to be here. I see y'all out there. I'm seeing you and Sister Inez out there doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? She doing. Man, I told her. I said, listen, I had come down to Durham and I was trying to book a hair appointment, and she booked up. You know, for the month. I'm like, what? You know,
she's doing it up now.
Yes, you know,
I ain't got time for it. I'm trying to put my time in.
Yes, and then your podcast is blowing up and everything. So I'm so, I just get so excited just kind of watching you two from the background. So it's definitely an honor to be here, and I do thank you for having me on. And again, anybody, just email me at melanatedimmortals.com if you have any more questions or need some, which way should I go? I'll be happy to answer those questions. So
Absolutely. Well, once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Masterminds with Brother Shemel. It's been great. Enjoyed you all. And until next time, peace and love. All right. Peace.